Hold up.
Alexa Bliss closed out this week's episode of WWE RAW with an amazing transformation, going from her playful and joyful avatar transforming into an unhinged, Harley Quinn-ish persona. The internet has been abuzz with possibilities ever since WWE RAW concluded, and many have touted Alexa Bliss as the favorite to win the 2021 Royal Rumble. Here are some arguments about why Alexa Bliss should be the winner of the Royal Rumble match and 2 reasons why she should not. Be sure to let us know your thoughts and views in the comments section below. Do you think that this version of Alexa Bliss is the best one we have seen thus far? Number 1. Alexa Bliss should win the Royal Rumble because she has a win over Asuka already, setting the stage for a big match. The fact that Alexa Bliss scored a massive victory over Asuka, the WWE RAW Women's Champion, should not be overlooked at all. Asuka is no pushover, if you consider all of her accolades and how bulletproof she's been made to look in the roster thus far. Asuka has the distinction of the most prolific winning streak of the modern era, and for Alexa Bliss, in her new avatar, to score a victory over her is a reflection of how much faith the company has in her character. The stage is set for Alexa Bliss versus Asuka at some point in the future, where even Asuka, who is never intimidated, has to confront forces she does not understand. Alexa Bliss could win the Royal Rumble and let it be known that she has her eyes set on the WWE RAW Women's Championship. In many ways, this would be a very difficult contest to call because of the nature of the gimmicks of both of these women. Number 2. Alexa Bliss should not win the Royal Rumble because Bianca Belair may need a breakout win much more than she does. Alexa Bliss has already accomplished more in her WWE tenure than others have in their entire careers because she is the complete package. Not only is Alexa Bliss gorgeous, but she cuts a mean promo and has perhaps the best acting chops in the roster, male or female. Alexa Bliss, whether you like her or not, is a main star and does not need to win the Royal Rumble, as much as certain other performers in the current roster do right now. One of them is Bianca Belair, who has all the ability and potential in the world but is just relegated to 3rd position on the SmackDown brand because of the presence of Sasha Banks and Bayley. For Bianca Belair to win the Royal Rumble and maybe challenge Asuka at WrestleMania would be a huge step up for her, and she needs the rub far more than Alexa Bliss does right now. Number 3. Alexa Bliss should win the Royal Rumble because Raw's been lacking a top star since Becky Lynch's departure. Alexa Bliss has always been prominently featured, but in this latest incarnation, since her pairing with Bray Wyatt, she has been given a lot of on-screen time to tell stories and work with top stars like Randy Orton. One has to believe that this is WWE's attempt to create a top star for Raw, because ever since Becky Lynch has departed from the brand, the women's division has seemed weak. Asuka is a great champion and a terrific sports entertainer, but she has seemed to lack the killer instinct to become the mainstream attraction that the brand craves. Alexa Bliss could bridge that gap until Becky Lynch returns and, maybe in the future, prove to be a great opponent for her as well. Alexa Bliss has faced many WWE superstars, but few in her current avatar. All of them feel like fresh matches, in her case. Maybe she could even adopt a cinematic element during her contests. Number 4. Alexa Bliss should not win the Royal Rumble because the bar for women's wrestling at WrestleMania has been set very high. Because we have sung Alexa Bliss's praise so much in this video, let us also be critical of the one aspect for her game that may need some work. No, Alexa Bliss is certainly no slouch in the ring, but neither is she a Charlotte Flair, Bayley, or Sasha Banks when the bell rings. She overcomes this with excellent character work, but at the same time, Alexa Bliss is not among the cream of the crop with regard to in-ring work. Because we have seen so many spectacular contests at the Royal Rumble from a wrestling perspective, whether it was the triple threat main event or even Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley, WWE may want athletes of that caliber in the women's title picture. This is not to imply that Alexa Bliss is incapable of doing the same things that the other women do. It wouldn't make sense in her current avatar to do a few of those things. Number 5. Alexa Bliss should win the 2021 Royal Rumble because she could swerve us all by challenging Sasha Banks. I'm at WWE BEAST Wrestling. Love Alexa Bliss, and I have put together a small playlist that you can check out by clicking on the video description. While most of us expect Alexa Bliss vs Asuka at Wrestlemania, if that is indeed the plan, the company could definitely swerve us and go in a very different direction. Maybe Alexa Bliss wins the Royal Rumble and proclaims that she wants to challenge Sasha Banks, the WWE SmackDown Women's Champion, instead of Asuka, setting up the seeds for a brand new feud. Sasha Banks and Alexa Bliss are definitely not strangers to one another, but yes, this version of Alexa Bliss is not an incarnation that the boss has faced during her WWE career at all. After Bayley and Carmella, Sasha Banks will be out of potential opponents to face, which speaks volumes over the lack of depth in the SmackDown Women's division at this point. On the weekend, WWE announced a location and date change for WrestleMania 37. The show was initially scheduled to take place at SoFi Stadium in Inglewood, California on March 28. WWE will be moving it to the April 10–11 weekend at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa Bay, Florida. WrestleMania 38 will take place at AT&T Stadium in Arlington, Texas. SoFi Stadium will host WrestleMania 39 in 2023. The road to WrestleMania will begin at the upcoming Jan. 31 Royal Rumble pay-per-view. But even with this show just around the corner, WWE reportedly doesn't have anything set in stone. Dave Meltzer stated on Wrestling Observer Radio that WWE has no plan for WrestleMania 37. He added that nothing has been booked, and the only thing finalized is the dates for the show. If this is the case, then WWE will certainly have to finalize its plans quickly. The WrestleMania event will be largely built around the men's and women's Royal Rumble winners, after all. Roman Reigns vs Goldberg was widely rumored as a potential WrestleMania showdown. The WWE Hall of Famer is set to face Drew McIntyre for the WWE Championship at the Royal Rumble. A Reigns-Goldberg WrestleMania match feels unlikely, considering that the latter only has 2 matches a year on his contract. It wouldn't make sense for Goldberg to face 2 separate champions in such a short period, especially if he were to lose both matches. The Rock vs Reigns was also rumored, but Vince McMahon reportedly prefers to wait until 2022 for that match. All in all, it's really anybody's guess what matches we'll see on this year's card. The clock is ticking. WrestleMania is still 3 months away, so WWE has time to figure out most of the card. But they have to make a final decision on the main event scene relatively quickly, with the Royal Rumble just 12 days away. Personally, I say, thanks for watching. If you liked the video, please hit the like button. If you want to see more videos, hit the subscribe button, and if you have something to say, please leave a comment.
Oh, let me up with a bright smile on now. Put me in the dark, so won't get lost now. To the moonlight